Ever feel like your Dear Diary journal entries are getting a bit boring? I've definitely been there many, many times. I mean, there's only so many entries in the vein of today I went to work, bought groceries on the way home, cooked dinner, watched TV, and then went to bed before journaling starts to become tedious. Yeah, tedious, boring. It sort of starts to feel like homework. You're just going through the motion of listing what happened to you that day. And that is not good. I mean, this is supposed to be a hobby. It's supposed to um, add meaning to our lives, and it's supposed to be fun. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with these Dear Diary type entries where you just sort of give a play-by-play of your day, but I do think that they can contribute or even cause journaling fatigue. And I started to think of it this way. Like, imagine an author only gave you the plot of the story without ever describing the environment, the setting of the story, or describing all the characters, what they're wearing, what their, hair looks like, or including dialogue and what the characters are thinking about, what they're wishing for, what their goals are. A story is engaging because of all these various details, right? It's not just the plot. There's so much more. And similarly, our lives, our days have so much more to offer than just the plot. So why only focus on the plot? And so if you are looking for ways to make your journaling practice more engaging, more fun, more creative, imagine that your journal is a novel and you are its main character, of course. And so what else is there to the story? What is there beyond the plot that should be captured and written down? And I have found that this perspective on daily journaling is very rich, it's very fun, and it has definitely changed my journaling practice for the better. And so in this video, I want to share with you some prompts and some personal tips that will help you sort of turn your journal or your journaling from a list of daily events into something that you are excited to work in and also excited to look back on. So let's take a look. One of the easiest ways I've found to break out of a plot-centric or plot-heavy journaling routine is to focus on one of my 5 senses. And so, for example, this spread right here is dedicated to my scarf that on that particular day had this very comforting smell to it. It just smelled like home. It smelled familiar. And I don't know, it was just nice. And maybe that's weird, but maybe you know what I'm talking about. And so, yeah, that was what stood out to me that day. And that is what I journaled about. But far more often than smell, I journal about taste. And that includes new recipes that I'm trying for the first time. But I also try and remember to journal about the foods that we eat on a very regular basis that just sort of pop up often in our meal plan. And so one of those examples is this recipe here for a peanut butter banana oat smoothie that my husband and I have been very much loving because it's just, I don't know, it's sweet and it's comfy and quite filling, actually. So I finally made the point of capturing it in this journal here. And then I want to share one more spread about food, if I can bring that up here real quick. Because not only is it, again, about something that I am tasting, but this is a fun technique, and that is to zoom in. So what I mean by that is you don't have to journal about the whole experience. You can just zoom in on one particular detail or one particular item. In this case, this spice blend, umami blend, that I have been really enjoying. And I was curious what was all in this blend, and so I drew out all these ingredients. And yeah, just a really fun page. And when I look back on this, I will remember, oh yeah, I used to use that all the time on like veggies or salads or things like that. And yeah, quite cool and very, very fun. Another thing that I think is so fun to journal about is outfits. You can write about a cute new outfit if you've bought a new shirt and you feel so great wearing it, or maybe you dressed up for a date. That is really, really fun to journal about. But then I decided to journal about my go-to comfort outfit this winter because it keeps me so warm and cozy. And so, yeah, this is just something that isn't fashionable, not at all, but it is something that I wear all the time. And I do think that I could, at some point, forget about that I used to wear this all the time. And so, when I come back to this page years down the line, I will remember and go, oh, yeah, I used to wear that all the time. Look at that. And so, yeah, I just annotated what each of these items are, and I think it makes a cute little journal page. The outfits that you're journaling about don't even need to be something that you're in the possession of. So, for example, here I was imagining an outfit, something that I would wear or like to wear, like a cat tote bag. And for some reason, I've been eyeing Mary Jane shoes. I don't know why that is, but yeah. So, imagine things, put together a mood board for an outfit that you would like to wear, or put together a wish list. Similarly, I did some research on new makeup products that I think I might enjoy. And so I made a little wish list that I can refer back to once it's time to purchase something new. And then speaking of wish lists, I also drew out these items that I think I would like to purchase for our home, like a colorful shower curtain, or I want to be on the lookout for a vintage lamp. I think that's so cute if you have little cute lamps like that in the kitchen. I would love to find a Bambi movie poster and colorful bed linens. And so that just makes a really fun spread. And I think it'll be nice once we have actually purchased these items to also make a spread and then have documented where that sort of started, the vision, and then what it actually became. And in general, I think journaling about your home is really nice. Again, it's something that we, I guess, in a way, take for granted, or we get so used to seeing that, pictures of our home, at least in my experience, rarely make it into my journal. But I would love to flip back through and see all these pictures and images of what our living room looked like back then and stuff like that. So, yeah, I definitely want to include more home-based things in my journal. I mentioned how you can journal about things that are so familiar that they sometimes slip under the radar. A similar thing is... my bookmarks are tangled up. A similar thing is just projects or things you would like to make or create. So here I dedicated a page to this vision that I've been having of making cute tote bags and zipper pouches, and just finally put that onto paper, out of my head onto paper, right? And so it'll be so very nice to look back on. And yeah, just visualize the things that are typically invisible, like all the ideas you have, or all these things you dream up. I think that's really, really lovely to have a record of in your journal. Speaking of visualizing the invisible, it can also be quite meaningful to try and visualize your mood of the day. Sort of try to find a picture that encapsulates your vibe or how you felt that day. So for example, on this day, I've had some dreams that kind of affected my mood all throughout the day. And so I came up with this little doodle that sort of reflected on how that made me feel. I don't know if you know that sort of feeling where dreams are just kind of sticky and they just stick around and they just follow you all day. I don't know. But yeah, that's how I figured I'd visualize that. I did a similar thing last year where, there was just a bunch of things happening that were quite uncomfortable. And so I drew this girl with her cat friend just floating away with balloons. That's how I captured that. And of course, you don't necessarily have to draw. You can also work with your stickers and just find something that seems like it just reflects what you're feeling. You can find photos or magazine clippings, but why not journal about your mood and your vibe of the day? Another fun thing to include in your journal is old photos or old memories that may not have anything to do with the date you're journaling on. So for example, in this instance, I was just inspired by the little quote that the Hobonichi journals come with. And on this day, it said something about photography. What is a good photo? One that conveys emotion. All you need to do is to take a picture when you feel emotion yourself. And this quote reminded me of this photograph that I had taken of these dandelions. And so that just on a personal level really fit this quote for me. And so in the back here, underneath the flip, I journaled about why I made this association. That's just a really fun way to bring old memories or old photographs into the journal. And I think that's great because, in 10, 20, 30 years when I'm flipping through this journal, I'm just as excited to be reminded of memories that even predate this journal, right? I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything if it's not about this day in particular. I just like to be reminded of all the memories. And so another instance is this spread right here. This was actually triggered by Facebook. You know how Facebook sometimes gives you these flashbacks on this day 15, 20 years ago or whatever. No, not 20. Was Facebook even a thing 20 years ago? I'm not sure. Anyway, Facebook had told me that on this day, I don't know how many, 10 years ago, I had posted this photo of our family dog. She was still almost like a puppy back then. And so, that was just a lovely thing that I journaled about on that day. So really fun to include old photos, old memories. And if you want to, you can include a sentence or two, what the connection was, or why you thought of that particular photo or that particular memory or that particular person on the day. Another great way to break out of sort of plot-based journaling is to focus on other people in your life. So, for example, this here, the 16th of August is my sister's birthday. And so I decided to dedicate the spread to her. I've included a fun photo of me and my sister, and then just reflected on our relationship and what I really enjoy about our relationship. And then I did the same thing for my brother's birthday. I have this a quirky photo of him here, and then just again reflected on our relationship and what makes me so grateful for him. And so that's a really, really fun thing to do. Of course, you can also include dialogue, which is really fun. That's something that I want to get better at, to really get specific quotes or conversations that I have with other people in my journal. And of course, you're not limited to family and friends. You can also capture interactions that you have with grocery clerks or coworkers or people on the bus or subway, you know. I, for example, also have here included a quote by Leslie on YouTube, because she had left this wonderful quote about my Cat Collage Club printable collection, where she said that she's mentally referring to the February collection as the Smitten Kitten collection. And I thought that was so great that I wanted to remember that. And so I included it in this journal. So focusing on other people, focusing on dialogue or quotes or memorable things people are saying. Oh, and then another great thing is if you have specific, names, nicknames of people, or funny things you say all the time. You know how sometimes in specific relationships you just have fun names for things, or you have inside jokes. Those things are great to include in a journal, I think. And then lastly, I wanted to share this idea here, which is to try and find a word that you feel like encapsulates what your day was about. And that could be a word that is feeling-based. It could be a word that is action-based, or whatever it is. Just try and find a word and then use that as your heading to your journal entry, and then just explore why you think this word came up for you for that particular day. And then this word just almost acts as a journaling prompt that is very personal to you. And you might find that you access things that you would have otherwise not thought about or not journaled about. It's just a fun way to explore what comes up for you. Yeah, so just an idea. Of course, all of this isn't an exhaustive list. There's so many things you can include in your journal that go beyond the plot of the day. And certainly some of these ideas have been around for a while. I'm not claiming to have invented this radically new approach to journaling. But I do hope that these ideas inspire you to think of things that you want to capture in your journal that you might not have considered otherwise, and to just, play around with different ideas and different things to include. So I hope this idea of exploring all these different aspects to your world, to your story, to your day is something that will help you have fun with your journal, and that's something that you find meaningful and rewarding. Let me know in the comments if you have a favorite prompt from this video, and also share if you have any ideas or any prompts that go along with it. That would be so fun to share and exchange ideas that way. And other than that, thank you so much for sharing this time with me. Until next time, happy journaling.